today we're talking smoked pork butt or smoked pork shoulder. This is going to take a while, about a few hours. So without further ado, let's get some seasoning on this thing and get right to it, because I'm starving, and if this is going to take a couple hours, I'm going to be flat out hangry by the time this thing comes off the grill. Let's get this done. So like you've seen me do before, if you watch my baby back ribs video, we're going to hit this with a binder, and this is yellow mustard, and you don't want to go too crazy with it, but you do want to get a nice even coat all over the pork butt, and this is going to be something for our rub to stick to. And you want to make sure that you get the sides. You want to get the sides as well. This is a really big cut of meat, and we're going to really hit this with a good coat of seasoning to give it a really nice bark. Same treatment on this side. So today for seasoning, we're talking Heath Riles. I found this stuff not too long ago when I was browsing around online, looking at all kinds of different rubs, and this got some really good reviews. So the first one I bought was the garlic jalapeno rub. I've tried this on a couple different things, just kind of experimenting really, but I really like it. It has some nice savory and a good amount of heat. This one I haven't tried yet, and this is just the regular sweet barbecue rub. We're not going with a hot rub on this because we've got heat in the jalapeno garlic rub. So we're going to come across the top of our pork butt here first with this jalapeno garlic rub, and just give it a nice coat. Hit the sides. This side over here. And like I said, this is a big cut of meat, so it can take some rub. Now we're going to come back across with the Heath Riles sweet rub. I haven't tried this out yet. It smells really good. I'm really excited to try this. Oh, that looks like it's going to have some great color. Really healthy dose on all sides. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. Now what we want to do is we want to let this hang out. We want to let it hang out, start to come up to room temperature, and let this rub start to go to work on this meat here a little bit and work its way in and bring some moisture out. So we're going to let this hang out for about 30 minutes or so, and then in the meantime what we'll do is we're going to fire up the pit and get the grill up to temperature, and then after that this sucker will be ready to go on. Stick around. So today for this cook we're going to be using my Traeger pellet grill. We're going to come down here, we're going to turn this bad boy on. Let it get up to temperature, and then our pork butt will be going on the grill. Okay, so we're cruising right at 275. It's time for this bad boy to go on. We're running some hickory pellets today. It's going to give us a good smoke flavor, and this is going to go on. It's probably going to sit there for about 2.5, maybe 3 hours before we come back and start checking it, seeing if it's time to wrap. Get this right in the center. Stick around. Okay, so our butt's been on for about 2 hours, and I've been doing this every hour, but I wanted to show you how to do this. This is probably going to be the last time before we wrap. But this is just a mixture of apple cider, sweet apple cider, and apple cider vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar and water. You can use red wine vinegar and water. It doesn't matter. But we're just giving this thing a spritz and getting some moisture back on this thing. You want to do this about every hour throughout your cook. We're getting really close to wrapping this thing. So I want to give it a really good dose and let it go for about maybe another 30 minutes before we wrap. It should have a little bit more blackening to it. This is getting really close to that, like, you know, dark, deep, you know, red. It's almost like a nice finished wood color, and that's really, really nice. That's what you want. But we want it just a little bit darker before we wrap. As long as you do this every hour, you'll keep this moist, you'll keep it from drying out, and you really want to make sure that you do that. It's really, really important. Stick around, we're going to wrap soon. So it's been about 30 minutes, and this bad boy here, as you can see, is ready to wrap. Touch test is good. The rub is stuck to the pork butt. You're starting to get some blackening. You know, and when everything splits like this, that fat split, that's how you know you're ready to wrap. You can get it over the foil here. Thank you. Just set it right in the center of the foil. And I use heavy duty foil, and I make crisscross out of it. And what I'm going to do one more time, I'm just going to add a little bit more moisture to this, help it steam and get it really, really tender. Now all I'm going to do is just come up and over, you know, get it really, really, really nice. Kind of want to package it up a little bit. Now it's going right back on. And I'll temp this in about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I want it to be right around 195 to 200 degrees. That's the target temperature for this pork butt. Stick around. What I have here is I have the ingredients for the glaze we're going to put on this pulled pork when it comes off the grill. And I don't really measure this stuff out. I just kind of wing it. And I like keeping everything spicy. At least for this, I want a nice spicy pulled pork. So I'm using Sweet Baby Ray's sweet and spicy barbecue sauce. And then after that, I'm going to throw in just a little bit of apple cider vinegar, give it some tang to it. And then after that, for a little bit of kick and some sweet, I'm going to throw in some Maker's Mark bourbon. I'm just taking a fork and I'm just going to mix all this together. Once you get it all blended together, just give it a quick taste test. And that's pretty good right there. Stick around. Okay, so this is done. Definitely done. We hit 195, and another good way to tell that this is done is when you can pull this bone, good catch on the pork, but you can pull this bone right out. When that comes out clean like that, you know that your pork shoulder's done. But what we're gonna do, I'm gonna leave that right there. We're gonna take this thing and we're gonna get it right back in this pan, and then we're gonna slather this glaze all over it, and it's gonna go back on the grill for another 15 minutes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this, and I'm not really holding back here at all. I'm just gonna get it right on there. We want barbecue. Make sure we get the sides and all that happy stuff. Okay, so now it's going to go back on the pit for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to bring it back up here and I'm going to rip this apart. Okay, so this thing just came off the pit. Our glaze glazed right on. Smells absolutely amazing. So what we're going to do is, I'm not going to hold back here. We're doing this for pulled pork. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip right into this. This should start pulling right apart. Wow, that smells awesome. This thing is screaming hot still. Oh yeah. Look at that. This smells so good, it's unbelievable. Tons of moisture in it. Just coming apart like nobody's business. And as much as I want to dive right in here, I know I'm going to have to sit here and let this cool down. Just absolutely awesome. This is going to taste great. I'm going to start moving some of this back into this pan here. Yeah, this is what I call smoked pork butt. This is so tender. Just completely falling apart. Look at that. And you can put this on anything. You can put this on, you can make tacos with this, you can make nachos with this, you can make pizza with this, you can make sandwiches or sliders or, you know, basically, you know, whatever you want. This is really good stuff. And this is a home run, especially this time of year. Come football season, you imagine a pulled pork pizza or pulled pork nachos. It's a good Super Bowl dish, good hockey game dish, because that's what we watch up here. We watch friggin' hockey. Anyway, I'm going right in. I'm going to take this piece right here. Oop. Maybe not. Oh, man. That is awesome. There's so much flavor. It's so juicy. Look. Oh. I wish you guys could be smelling this. This is just beautiful, beautiful pork. Home run. Total home run. Before I eat all of this, let's do a quick recap of what we did here. We did 7.5 pound pork butt, yellow mustard over the whole thing, Heath Riles jalapeno garlic rub, followed with Heath Riles sweet rub. On the Traeger at 275, running hickory pellets for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, until you got a nice, burnt wood color on top of the meat, and then you wrapped it. Let it run up to 200 degrees. Well, we pulled it off about 196 degrees, which is okay. And then then glaze it. Throw it back on for another 15 minutes. Then you're eating good food. If you like what we're doing and you want to see more of this, click that subscribe button. Leave us your feedback in the comment section. We look at all of it. We're really glad you hung out with us today. This was a long one. Took about 6 hours, but here we are, and I'm no longer hangry. See you next time.